first in my department in IIT. Because I stopped all other activities which were totally waste of time. So it was so easy for me to give the best output in my studies. So the knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita helps us to save the time which we use in wrong activities, in useless activities. It will help us to save that time, and it will make us honest people. It will make us very integrity. It will increase our integrity in life, and we will be able to find a lot of time for the real things which will help us, emotionally, which will help us mentally, and which will help our soul. So, also one of the most important points in better output is the secret of concentration. At our workplace, the more concentrated we are, the more focused we are, the more output we can give. Just like a magnifying lens, you put a paper under the sun's rays, the paper will not burn. But if you put a magnifying lens and then you focus the sun's rays on the paper will start burning. Similarly, if we have concentration in our activities, then we will give the best output. So Bhagavad Gita explains how to increase our concentration. It explains how to focus ourselves on the activity which we are doing. Instead of thinking about the result, instead of thinking about what we are going to get in return for that, we think about how to do it the best. And if we read the Gita every day, our concentration increases tremendously. Arjuna, actually Lord Krishna spoke the Gita only for 45 minutes. All the 700 shlokas, they were spoken only in 45 minutes. With thousands and millions of soldiers. And Krishna, he did not need a loudspeaker. Still all the millions of soldiers were hearing the message of the Gita. But it is because Arjuna heard it with faith, and he imbibed it in his life. That is why he was successful in the battle of Kurukshetra. He fought the battle, but always in the background the instructions of God were in the back of his mind. Mam Anusmara Yuddhaja. This is the message of the Gita. That one engages in our activity, but one always knows the higher purpose behind our activities. That is very, very important. And what is that higher purpose? The higher purpose is to become free from the reactions of those activities. The higher purpose is to save oneself first. If somebody is drowning in the ocean, he shouts, "You save me, save me, save me." And you jump in and you are a very kind person. You say, "I will save you." You jump inside the water. But if you don't know swimming, can you save him? No, both of you will drown. In fact, because you don't know swimming, you will pull him down faster. So, the message of the Gita is first to understand ourselves first, to save ourselves first, to make a change in our personal life also, and then we can make a positive change in our workplace. It has to start. Charity begins at home. There is a saying. So, to make our change in our life, we have to take the words of the Gita very seriously, like Arjuna did, and then we will become more concentrated. We will become more focused, more efficient, because we will know that this is our duty. This is what we are meant for, and we will know the higher purpose behind it. So we will always be concentrated. Another thing is constructive criticism. How to give and take it in our workplace, in our home. Sometimes some people correct us and we become angry. We can't accept it. We are not able to accept it. So that is also explained by Krishna in the Gita that na jayate na mriyate va kadachin nayam bhutva bhavita na bhuya ajo nitya shashvato yam purano na hanyate hanyamane sharire. That if somebody is correcting us, we have to accept it sportingly, because actually that person cannot correct our soul. Na hanyate hanyamane sharire. The soul is covered by a subtle body, and above the subtle body is the gross body. The soul has two coverings. Subtle body is made up of mind, intelligence and ego. And above that is the gross body. It is made up of earth, water, fire, air and ether. It is described in the Gita that Bhumirapo nalo vayu Mano buddhirevacha ahankara iti yamme bhinna prakrutirashtadha. These are 8 separated energies of God. So this our body is made up of earth, water, fire, air and ether. And beyond this body is the subtle body, which is made up of mind, intelligence and ego. And inside that subtle body is the soul, which we are. We are the soul. We are sitting inside the two bodies. Just like we are wearing a banyan and a shirt. Inside both of them, we are there. Similarly, the soul has these two coverings. So when somebody corrects us, when somebody gives us some good advice, we should understand that he or she is helping us to see my soul, to see my mistakes. We should take it sportingly. Actually, nobody can affect our soul. It is we only. Just like one person, he was sitting in a car and the car had an accident. And one door of the car blew out. So that person came out and he started shouting. What did you do to my car? You have damaged my car. He was shouting as if he himself was hurt. But actually he was not hurt. The car was damaged. But because he was identifying with the car, when the car felt hurt, he also felt hurt. Because identification was there. Similarly, we are identifying with our body. So if somebody insults us, we feel very insulted and we feel very morose and we very angry. Nowadays, it is very easy. We are always disturbed. So this Gita gives a solution to this. Is because of our identity crisis. We actually don't know who we are. We are mistaking ourselves to be just matter. Earth, water, fire, air and ether. We are not matter. We are the spirit inside the matter. So however hard words somebody speaks to us, insults us, nobody can insult the soul, because the soul is Satchidananda. The soul is a spirit spark. Anybody knows the dimensions of the soul? Is 1/10,000 the tip of the hair. If you take a hair, if you divide it into 10,000 parts, that is the size of the soul. According to Shvetashvara Upanishad, it is said, Balagra Shata Bhagasya Shatadha Kalpitasya. You take one hair, you cut it into 100 parts, and then each part again you divide it into 100 parts. That will be the size of the soul. So the soul is so small, but it is so powerful. You know where the soul is situated in our body? Anybody knows? Yes, Kumarji is right. The soul is in the heart. According to the Gita, Hrideshe Arjuna Tishtati Yantra Rudhani Maya. Lord Krishna says that this body is like a yantra of the soul. The Atma is situated in the center of the heart, and the Atma, the energy of the Atma is pervading the body. So the body is becoming an instrument of the soul. As long as the soul is there in our body is alive. When the soul leaves the body, what happens to the body? is dead. Nobody will give any value to the body. People will burn that body when the soul is not there. So the real value, what is the real value? The soul, the Atma. That is the knowledge of the Gita. If you understand this, we will never become disturbed. Never in our workplace, in our home, we will never feel disturbed. Because we will understand we are the spirit spark. We are 1/10,000th the tip of the hair. We will never become proud. If somebody has Atma Gyan, one will never become proud. One will always remain humble, straightforward, simple. So, when Arjuna understood the Gita, he immediately accepted Krishna's order. He says, Krishna, you are Param Brahma and I am Anu Brahma. Actually, the soul and God are the same in quality, but they are different in quantity. That is the philosophy of the Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna says to Arjuna, "Oh Arjuna, I lived for thousands of years, you also lived, all the kings also were alive, but the only difference between you and me is you don't remember your past birth, and I remember all your births. I remember the births of all these kings, I remember the births of all of you, but you don't remember. Because you have Anu Chetana and I have Vibhu Chetana. Consciousness is a matter difference of consciousness. So the Atma, the soul, is actually full of consciousness. It is like, fire, spark of fire. When the Atma is situated in the heart, the Atma releases the kiran, the light, the energy of the soul. And that is why our hand is moving, our mind is working, we are thinking, we are eating, because the Atma is actually handling all of that. Even the mind, intelligence, ego, all these forms of the subtle body, they also work because of the Atma. Apareyam mitastvanyam prakrutim viddhi me param jiva bhuta mahabaho yaedam dharyate jagat. Lord Krishna says in the Gita that the soul is such a powerful thing that even a small spark, but the whole world it is manipulating. It is manipulating the whole world. Everything is running. It is building big buildings, big structures, and very wonderful things are being made because of the soul's presence in the body. So we are actually very powerful. We have to understand our real nature. As long as we are simply thinking on the mental platform and the bodily platform, we will not be able to realize our full potential. That's why the Bhagavad Gita describes to us this Atma Gyan. When we realize we are the soul, then we become very powerful. We become very efficient. We become free from all doubts. Basically, the doubts are something which keeps us from working properly, which keeps us from problems. Always the more doubts we have, the more confused we are. So Bhagavad Gita helps us to become free from all doubts. It gives us a positive mental attitude. Bhagavad Gita leads to a positive mental attitude in which we can actually benefit every